This is the TIP Network, where we help you level up through self-improvement with a little sprinkle of sarcasm.
But today is not very sarcastic.
No.
It's kind of serious.
Yeah, so of course, the biggest thing that everyone's talking about that really applies to just content creation on many different levels is the Joe Rogan, and he seems to find himself in a kerfuffle. A kerfuffle.
Define kerfuffle. What's all the things that's happening right now that's a kerfuffle?
Well, right now, as a kerfuffle or is leaving him in a lot of trouble is that statements and of him using the N-word has resurfaced from like a collage from past Joe Rogan Experience episodes. Now, do I think these are taken out of context? Yes, but there is one that specifically that I remember watching. I remember watching this myself. It was him, Joey Diaz, and Redgrave, and it was a earlier episode.
Is it Redban?
Redban, I'm sorry. I call him Redgrave. You know, a little tired. But Redban, and it's an earlier episode, and I think this is even before young Jamie was on the boards, right? And he was using the N-word. Not only used the N-word, but he said like he was in a cab, he got dropped off. They were going to see the Planet of the Apes, and when he got out of there, he asked him if it was a good neighborhood. The cab driver barely spoke English, said yes, and he says, "Man, when I got out, it was the Planet of the Apes." Ha 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 ha. And then he says, "Oh man, that sounds so racist, right?" And even if you notice the reaction then, like Joey Diaz wasn't laughing at all. Redban was laughing. I almost called him Redgrave again. Is that hilarious? Brian Redban was laughing. You know, they're comedians, and you know he was like, "Oh man, that sounds so racist, this and that." And
so give me a reason why Joey Diaz wasn't laughing about it.
One of the reasons why I think Joey Diaz wasn't laughing is because one of the things that Joey Diaz pointed out telling his life story is that after his father passed away, his mother was married to a black man, and that man raised him. He really loved him. And Joey Diaz, like a lot of his comedy, I've seen his comedy before. He's a blue comic. He talks a lot of crap. But a lot of things he says, like one of the things is, hey, stay black. That's the most important thing. And like a lot of stuff he would talk about, like, you know, he came up with black people. He came up in New York, came up with blacks, Italians, and this and that and that and this. And he just didn't seem to be enthused by it. So that was one of the things. So I guess we can approach this on three different levels. I think it has to be approached on three different levels. First and foremost, that collage, which Joe Rogan apologized for, but that collage, I said this before, if you feel like you need to apologize for something, then you were probably wrong for it, right?
Yeah.
And so he apologized for it, and you know, a lot of people says, well, Spotify made him do it, this or that, and just the business aspect of it, Spotify can't make him do anything.
And before you go on, so there's a lot of things that are missing from a generational understanding perspective.
Yeah.
Me being an older millennial, I mean, I've seen and I heard a lot of different types of stuff that comes out of people's mouths from all sorts of races.
Yeah.
So it's not just pertains to one race.
Hey man, like I can tell you this, right? We grew up with you would go to Oakland, and it would be Hong Kong Chinese cats in Oakland who use the N-word like they are literally, like you would hear them, and you would hear the slang and everything. You look and you'd be like, are these guys really think they're black?
That's a key important thing that you said.
Yeah.
That they use it to refer to each other. So
I've
and even
seen
to some of their friends because I've been around here, especially in the Bay Area, you see things like that.
The Bay Area is such a unique environment because you have Filipino dudes who call themselves the N-word, you got Mexican dudes who call themselves the N-word,
Latino,
Puerto Ricans call themselves the N-words out here. You know who don't call themselves the N-word out here? Africans.
Yeah, straight from Africa. Yeah.
They're not saying that. So, like, that's one of the things. Not that, and I'm not making an excuse for it.
Of course not.
I'm just saying that coming up from where I came from, like, one of the things I said to, one of the things I was chatting with Rob from Blacklight Revelations, and I said, man, it was just known, like, when I was coming up, and one of my friends said that, wow, they weren't my friend anymore, and they get punched in the mouth. You know, like, we regulated each other from doing that. Of course, that has gone away. People don't get punched in the mouth for saying bad things anymore, and this is what happens. You kind of have like unchecked ignorance running amok. Do I think Joe Rogan's a racist? No. Could Joe Rogan have and besides the simple fact that he adopted a girl with African phenotypes, does not make it okay though. Does not make it okay. But I don't think he's racist. But I'm sure he has some implicit biases. I'm sure
as
that
we all do.
I'm sure that he has some prejudices.
as the things people used to say about me because I'm Asian, and I'm sure you guys can guess.
Yeah.
That my big body is making for some insecurity.
Yeah. Or sometimes if people just didn't realize you were Asian and maybe thought you were Hispanic.
Oh yeah.
And so they start talking about Asians.
Let's just say there is a point in Northern California. Sometimes it's called Jefferson State, of how north and red it is. Talking about conservative red.
Yeah, super Northern California. Not talking about the Bay Area, Northern California. We talking about up there with the other.
We're talking about everywhere outside the Bay Area. That's a red portion of the state.
Right? Mendocino County.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
So I go walking out there, and I'm very tan at this point. Where I'm dark. I'm like Cambodian complexion dark.
They're gonna be on your ass, Cambodian complexion. They're gonna be like, Cambodians aren't dark. Yes, you are. Anyway,
so because normally, if you look at me right now, I'm kind of pale. Right. So, but my skin color can change very deep, that deep, rich golden tan. So, I walk into this bar, and the people there said under their breath, "What is this Latino person?" Well, they use a specific nationality doing in here. Mm-hmm. So, it's.
Hey, did you hit him with an ultra Vietnamese accent? It'd be like, what do you mean?
Nah, honestly, I was somewhere in that portion of the area. I'm just like, I don't want to get into anything.
Okay. So like socially, I'm not going to excuse what he said, right? But I want to go to the real reason why Joe Rogan is in trouble right now. And it's simple. It's simple because this is an old video. This isn't new. Mm. It's not like he said it last week. And first of all, let's just get this out in the open. Just talk about the cancel situation. Only people I've seen who wants to cancel Joe Rogan are white women. I haven't seen like one black dude be like, "Oh man, we should cancel Joe Rogan." I swear to God, like white suburban women are like, "I deleted my Spotify app." Spotify don't care. Spotify like Honey Badger. Honey Badger don't care. Neither does Spotify. Okay, nobody cares, right? But that's what I say. Black people don't care about deleting Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan. I mean, I watch Joe Rogan when he has guests on I want to see. Right? I do. I will say this. The long podcast form that Joe Rogan did, the way he interviewed people, the interviewing skill, I wanted to emulate that and be able to do that, right? So, yes, I probably started a podcast influenced by Joe Rogan. I've said that before. However, like, I'm not watching Joe Rogan religiously, but you know who is watching Joe Rogan religiously?
Who?
11 million viewers per episode. Mm-hmm. And you know who those 11 million viewers aren't watching?
MSNBC, CNN, Fox News. In fact, I'm going to show the graphic right here how Joe Rogan's numbers is beating all the major shows combined on those respective networks.
So let's really talk about that, right? Mm-hmm. And what is he not doing? He is not pushing the narrative about the universal sickness.
The worldwide sickness.
The worldwide sickness. Mm-hmm. He's not pushing the narrative that they want him to. Mm-hmm. He's not saying that you should get jabbed for the sickness unless you're sickly, but he's saying like young people probably shouldn't get it, and it's not into his personal experience. When he got the sickness, he didn't get traditional, he wasn't vaccinated. He got monoclonal antibodies and infamycin, which CNN said it was horse medicine, which, yes, they give it to horses. They also give it to dogs, but they also have a human version, which he took, right? And so there you go. So number one, he's beating all of them. Number two, he's not towing the narrative, which means that Big Pharma doesn't like him, right? That narrative.
Because you always got to be following the money.
Yeah.
You got to follow that money train.
Number three, Spotify. Yeah. Spotify is now becoming a behemoth in the streaming platform. A behemoth. They have the number one show podcast in the world. But guess what they also have? The number two streaming hip-hop show in the world now with academics. And they're showing visual podcasts, right? So now this is something that's taken away from traditional television. This is something that's taken away from cable television. This is something that's taken away from other streaming televisions. This is something that's taken away from the YouTuber Rooney. So there's a lot of forces here. So I'm going to say that if he was towing the line, he wouldn't even be in trouble because this is not new.
What do you mean this is not new?
It's not new of this video. I seen this video 3 years ago. And then
so you're saying that the dog pile up is happening is because he's not following the narrative.
Yes.
And he's taking the numbers away from the mainstream media.
It's kind of a perfect storm. It's like not only is this fool beating our butts, but he's beating our butts in a way that we don't want it to be, you know.
And one thing, since you noted about DJ Academics shared, referring to the whole Fresh and Fit and how people transfer, the internet specifically, loves to transfer their hate onto somebody. They love someone to hate. At one point, I mean, Fresh and Fit isn't the level of Joe Rogan, but you can see that the hate is going towards Joe Rogan this past week.
Yeah, because guess what people aren't talking about? Except my G Grinder motive. He ain't never gonna let up. He just like boot neck. But you talk about that. They're not talking about Fresh and Fit with the Asian doll situation no more. They're not talking about Fresh and Fit on the Flagrant 2 podcast or this or that and this. No, not at all. Now we're hating on Joe Rogan. It's hate Joe Rogan time. Get your pitchforks.
So what would be the outcome of this?
What
is the outcome that they would want? The mainstream media forces and the money trail, wherever it leads to.
So I don't think that they are actually foolish enough to think that they're going to get rid of Joe Rogan. I think that they would really like to gain a footing and start pushing themselves towards at least getting some of their subscribers back. They've lost over 50% since President Trump has been out of office because they don't have anything.
No,
they have nothing to talk about. They have nothing to talk about because you know what CNN and MSNBC was? Russiagate, trying to get Russiagate. Then when it went away, they're like, oh, what are we going to do?
You know, I think I heard that on Fox News or Fox, one of their shows, that after Trump got out of office, they literally had zero things to talk about after that point.
Yes, and after Stop the Steal was gone, then they had nothing to talk about. So it's just one of those things. But there's something truly important that I'm truly passionate about, and it's the content creator part of it. Joe Rogan has 11 million downloads 11 million downloads per episode, 11 million viewers, 11 million. So if they can go after him and apply pressure, what can they do to somebody with 1,000 subscribers or 1,200, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, 500,000?
So what you're saying is they're setting a precedence.
I'm saying
they take away Joe Rogan's platform, they can easily take away our content. Easily. It's something they dislike and they disagree with, and it's the flavor of the week.
It's happening already.
Just like the Manosphere space.
Yes. So
even talking about having a red pill awareness. I even like promoting red pill.
Yeah, but just saying.
But just talking
red
about
pill,
it.
Or people was like, and then people come to other pills. Hey, like there's the Gray Pill podcast. I said, why are you Gray Pill? He says, well, I'm not here or here. I'm not right in the middle, right or left. I just call it Gray Pill because it's just how I feel about it, right? Okay. But all of these pills, all these different podcasts and Manosphere space, the thing that's great about it is that it's a place where we can get our views out and express ourselves. And hey, if like I used to make a joke that says all 17 of our subscribers, because that's what we had, and we were making podcasts just as intently and trying just as hard as we do now with 20 times, more than 20 times that many subscribers, just as intently, right? So you have to understand that the internet was supposed to be the last bastion of free speech. And a lot of that free speech has been eroded through policies, and that's okay. But straight out canceling, I'm not for. And this is the last thing I really want to make during this little point here, is that when you're cheering someone getting canceled over there, someone's going to cheer for your cancellation at one point. So it's better to just attack poor speech with more free speech. It's not and I respect everyone's freedom of choice. When NDIRE,
Neil Diamond?
No, it wasn't. I don't think it was Neil Diamond. Was it Neil Diamond? No, it wasn't.
It's Neil Diamond.
Was it Neil Diamond?
I'm pretty sure.
Well, watch. We're saying Neil Diamond. They're like, oh, this is a different Neil. Yeah. But when these artists said, take us off of Spotify because of this, NDIRE said, take them off Spotify because of racism. Well, NDIRE, I just want you to know that you didn't see that video earlier, and so it's an old video. And if that's how you feel, it's definitely your choice to do that. It's your choice to withdraw from the market. But I respect your choice to withdraw from that market. I respect every artist's choice to withdraw from that market. But what I don't respect is anybody who tries to silence somebody.
Yeah.
I don't respect that.
Because the path that leads with silencing other people always leads into bad outcomes.
Yeah.
And there's many cases of point in history that has shown this. And I'm not going to refer to these historical events by name.
Because we'll get canceled.
But let's just say it's never good when you have restricted speech. Just think of 1984, but in real life, and people are very mean towards other people.
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say.
And this is what I think about it. I think that when I was quiet when they took away your right to speak, and then I was quiet when they took away this other group's right to speak, and I was quiet when they took away this other group's right to speak, all of them will be quiet when my right to speak is taken away.
I wonder who said that quote.
I'm not connecting this to anything of that nature, but what I'm connecting this to is the gradual erosion of speech in this country. And I used to really say, and I was really adamant about this a couple of years ago, that look, these platforms aren't powerful enough to control the speech narrative, but I was myopic. I didn't see in front of me. I didn't realize that Joe Rogan had 11 million views per episode. I didn't realize that he was going to outdo all of the main news outlets combined. And so I'll say this, that if anybody can take away that behemoth and limit that, then we have a problem. And so I would say to everybody out there, every content creator, understand that if you're cheering for someone to be taken down, then you're cheering against yourself in the long run. To recap, what he said, asshole move. Just quite and simple. He should get roasted. Everybody who's roasted him, I seen like Tariq roast him and all of these people, to roast him. But I'm not for canceling anyone. It's just the way I am.
Plus, you get a lot of good content when you're on somebody for making a mistake.
Oh,
you're just holding them accountable.
He should get roasted,
right? And
he should get roasted.
And you get great content out of it, and then hopefully that person learns from their mistakes, which I'm sure he has learned from his mistakes. They're going to correct the behavior, and then move on, or at least have discussions in the future about this and create more content, because you have to have civil discourse with each other.
All right, but the last thing I want to say is, how ridiculous is it that we acting like white people and the private say their own home ain't dropping the N-word every now and again? Like, they just stopped. Like, oh, you know what? You know what happened, right? 2005, no N-word. You said it in 2004, you stopped saying it in 2000. People are acting surprised, like people like ain't walking around dropping the N-word in their car. It's kind of like when dude was singing with Office Space. The dude was singing "Damn, It Feels Good to Be a Gangster," and he was rapping hard, and the black dude pulled up and he rolled up the window. That's how they act, man. You mean to tell me you act like you really think that these white folks ain't sitting in their house dropping the N-word every time? Like when Obama came out, oh, that smart N-word, or that cocky N-word. Just shut up. Look, you should get punished for it, but stop acting like just stopping the word for someone saying it on camera is gonna make the word go away, right?
All I'm gonna say about that, just be in the defense. All right, I've just heard many different races say many different prejudicial things, so I just gotta put that out there.
So you be rapping, rolling down the street, smoking, and you be rapping that Snoop, that N-word slip out. Then you look around for black people, don't you?
You know, one of my favorite songs was that with let's say DJ Quan, My Hitter. But it's the other way.
My hitter. You be sitting there.
Like, oh man.
He's like, I just wish I had a pass to say it. No.
But still, I mean, what I'm saying is, because there's like, I really dislike this whole black and white thing. Of course, there needs to have discussions about the whole black and white conflicts and contentious point of previous history. But at the same time, I want to acknowledge that I've just heard too much stuff in my life from so many different races that, that's all I gotta say.
And the only thing I say is, like, where's Joe Rogan's friends? Like, you're cool with Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle put you aside and say, yo, G, what are you doing? You know?
What I gotta do is voice like that for?
What are you doing? Yeah, I don't know. I can't do it, Chappelle. But what all cases, I'm not gonna say that Joe Rogan is. I think that what he said was wrong. He needs to. There will be things to pay for it. But I don't think the price should be his platform or his life's work. You know, that's just the way I am about it. You know, like when is enough? When is enough? Sorry, okay. Well, should we banish him from society? Maybe we should take him and put him on Alcatraz for fucking 6 years.
The thing is, all right. So being a content creator is the intersection between sociology and economics.
Right.
You're combining both, because we're out here, we're sharing our thoughts, our ideas, our experiences on a social media for people to judge and criticize. Anything I'm going to say, especially in this podcast, is going to be taken out of context. Anything that you say is going to be taken out of context. People are going to have an issue with everything. You're going to offend somebody at some point. And especially if they start digging your past long enough, they're going to find something. right?
Boy, those old clips.
And when the changing of the culture happened to whatever is the trending topic during that time period for people to be offended about,
Yes.
what you think is normal today will not be normal the next day.
Right, and so like, and that's why I say like, so like a lot of things were, I felt like were taken out of context, except that one story. That one story wasn't taken out of context. It was a poor story. It's a bad joke. He even admitted there. He said, "Man, this is gonna make me sound really racist." And you know what? He's paying for it. He knew he was gonna pay for it then. He's paying for it now.
Yeah.
That it is what it is.
So another thing I want to say is that people should be able to redeem themselves. They should have that redemption story to develop past the issues that has occurred in their past.
Yes, 100%.
They should be able to develop the best version of themselves, and that we as a society should be holding each other accountable so we can grow and develop as people and become more whole and integrated.
That's a very, very interesting point. And in this country, we too much want to put people away forever, and we shouldn't. We just shouldn't.
You can be on their ass forever, just like Grind and Motivate on Fresh Fit, or some of these, or Duke and Dawn, or like, but
for Fresh, boy. But when he be doing when he be doing that Fresh accent, my G do that Fresh accent. Hey, I can't. I've stopped drinking any beer or having any drinks when I watched it. Man, I almost choked to death on my beer watching that one day. Cause first time I heard it, Myron, he did that stutter. And that's messed up because he's making fun of the man's stutter. It ain't his fault. He was born that way. But man, I choked. I had beer coming out of my nose. He almost killed me, man. I messaged him. I was like, bro, you killed me with that one. So anything else? Any other thoughts on this?
No. I mean, just like let's not cancel anybody. Let's hold each other accountable.
End of cancel culture.
Let's keep making content and roasting each other calling out each other's mistakes, having that civil discourse in that discussion.
I want to be like Rob from Blacklight Revelations, dude. He got one on deck. As soon as someone says, "Pow!" he fire at you. He'd be like, "Dang, man, I didn't even mean it that way." He said, "Well, you almost caught a hot one."
Because I think we all aspire to at least catch the glimpse of Joe Rogan's shadow, or at least be in his shadow with our own success.
Well, I don't. Yeah, like I said, I look up to folks who do a good job and achieve greatness, and I have to say that in this podcast space, he has achieved greatness.
And once you achieve that greatness and you're rising, the microscope is going to be on you.
100%. So if you like this content, like and subscribe.
Whoa! You gotta ask the question of the day first. Actually, let me ask you a question.
You'll answer the question of the day.
What should happen with Joe Rogan?
What should happen with Joe Rogan? That's a great question.
Leave down the comments below. Let us know your thoughts, and hopefully we don't have to do any more of these touchy subjects because we're trying to monetize here. I just want to focus on the business.
So like and subscribe on YouTube. Share it, please.
Hit the bell for more notifications.
Hit the bell for notifications
for all of our latest videos.
We're bringing the content in hot and heavy. You can follow me on the gram at IamGorilla1. You can follow this guy at Scott.TIEEE. And you can follow us. Scott
at the TIP Network.
At the TIP Network, all social media platforms are consolidated. One word, TIP Network.
You see the graphics here, and then I also have other social media accounts of my own, like on Twitter, that you can look down below. So, yeah. Anyway.
All right. So, all right. Hey, and we're going to keep bringing it to you back at it like a crack addict. Boom.